Namaste, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to Namaste Today and the Zodiac Weather. My name is Witecki, your sensei to Sirius Troy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Great news. It's Friday. It's finally Friday. Say it out loud and sing it proud. It is finally Friday, and really, this is a weekend I've been looking forward to. Today is Friday, September 19th, 2014, and today, decision and control rules the day. In our consciousness, we have 12 states of being aware. And one of those states is always aware of the decisions that we make. It's our control consciousness. And that's how we basically stay in control of our life, by decisions and then by living up to those decisions. Some people choose not to live up to them, or they weren't really serious about the decision, right? Well, today is one of those days. We're at the end of the sun in Virgo, and we're going to make some decisions today through Monday. Maybe we won't tell anyone until Monday or Tuesday, but the decision will come today. And that's why I have this slide here today of a storm brewing, because I think we all sense a storm is brewing, and I think we all sense that storm is brewing because we're all about to make some decisions. But before we dive into this decision and how to make it, let's first tame our brain, shall we, with the phrase of the day. I commit myself to open to greater giving and receiving. Hallelujah. Have you committed yourself to opening to greater giving and receiving? Well, today we are. I commit myself to open to greater giving and receiving. Greater business with everything in the universe. And I commit myself to open to this greater giving and receiving. And so it is, because I said so. I thought so. Now today, Step 26 rules the day, which means we feel, Step 2, and 6, we give and receive. What we're looking for is that sweet spot where we're open and we're connected to our emotions and we're doing business and giving and receiving with the relationship, with ourself, with our body, with the universe, whatever it is we're wanting to opening up to giving and receiving. And when you find that sweet spot, that's when you decide. Step 8, which is our Joy Quest intention today. Our intention is to decide and make a commitment to a general direction of our reality, which is Virgo. And each of your horoscopes in the Zodiac Weather, I'll be telling you where it is that it's very important and just where the commitment lies today. Now the moon is in Leo, if you can't tell, which means our hearts are lit up. I'm going to talk more about this in the Sensei Sunrise. It also does mean that our hearts are a bit vulnerable for most of the day. That's the first part of it. So in tonight's sky, there will be electrical changes. I mean electrical, based on the decisions that people make, and we'll all feel that electrical storm going into the weekend. Now looking at the chakras, I'm going to show you how this step adds up. First is Step 2, I feel. So our emotions, our third chakra, are quite lit up today. You want to make sure you ground, and you want to make sure you spend a little time with your feelings, baby yourself. Then secondly, Step 6 is open today. So we're giving and receiving, which actually happens through the throat chakra. Usually happens through vocal is what opens up that giving and receiving, opens up that dialogue. So dialogue is the beginning of giving and receiving. And what we're aiming is to decide. Now, the I decide conscious is actually the back of the third eye. So our front of our third eye is vision, and the back of our third eye is I decide, which means we close off all other opportunities. That's what really decision making is you're saying no to this and yes to that. And that's how you stay open to abundant manifestation. So today, we're making decisions that closes off our path and writes our destiny. Now, today in Planet Soup, what is God cooking up there in the stars? Well, for starters, the sun is at Step 26, which means we are coming to the completion of the sun in Virgo. We have to make a decision, and what's really important is this decision is based on this yod. We have a diluted yod today between Jupiter in the midheaven there in the top, and on the bottom, Pluto and Capricorn on one side, Chiron, Neptune, and Pisces on the other. And to make it more dramatic, the moon will cross over Jupiter. So the yod will be struck right when God points to the yod. Now, a yod basically is an isosceles triangle in space, and wherever it's pointing, we astrologers tend to believe, Creator is saying, this is mucho important. So let's dive into just what it is. Well, on one bottom of it, right, on the bottom left, I couldn't remember what side of the graphic I put the Neptune. On the bottom left, Neptune and Chiron are retrograde. We talked about this yesterday. But what this means is that we're taking an intuition from our life. We're taking a sense. So we're sensing something about our life on the one hand. And then Pluto in Capricorn, we're turning our back on something that no longer needs to be, particularly old rules. So you're listening to your senses and you're turning your back on old rules. And what that adds up to is this love fest up here in Leo. And the love fest really begins once the moon crosses Jupiter, which is tonight. And what I believe, what I'm going to talk about here in the Sensei Sunrise, is we're all having an issue with this Jupiter at step 13. I talked about this yesterday. Jupiter is in Leo at step 13. Creator is pointing to this with a big isosceles yod, so that it must be important. And I think the party begins after the moon crosses Jupiter and heads for Black Lilith, because that is the fears that's also holding us back in step 13. Now, to add some more aggression, Mars is now about to move to step 4 here in the next 24 hours, which means we are all ready to pop somewhere in the Sagittarius energy. This Sag energy is making a lot of people very jumpy, and it's making people more revolutionary, if you want to say, when it comes to belief structure and it comes to religion. So, unfortunately, this coming to Sagittarius does mean that philosophical debate and war is upon us. Within each of us, individually and privately, I think that to some degree there is some philosophical war going on, and that's exactly what I want to talk about today in the Sensei Sunrise. So for starters, let's go back to the beginning of what the Sirius step of the day is. And that is that we want to pay attention, be mindful of our feelings today. We always want to be mindful of our feelings when we're creating our future, when we're moving forward with our future. And then secondly, we want to be mindful of giving and receiving. So what that means is if you're, a Leo and you're working on manifesting abundance this month, or if you're a Taurus and you're working on your heart's desires, I'll just use those examples. You want to get in touch with your feelings today. And then let's say for Leos, you're wanting to give and receive what? Abundance, money, wealth. So today what you're doing is you're feeling your emotions, and then you're feeling around in your life for what opportunities for manifesting abundance feel open, where it's open and free and it feels very relaxed in order to do business. Any opportunities that do not feel relaxed to do business, really, in my opinion, we decide against. All right? We are not meant to change ourselves for the situation, and if you don't feel like you're ready for the situation, you can't quickly change yourself. It has to really be easygoing, and that's been my experience with manifestation. When it's the right situation, it just glides. There is no resistance, there is no doubt. So today we're looking for our feelings to feel comfortable, 6, Libra, fair, balance. We're looking for fair, balance, comfortable, almost artistic, giving and receiving, wherever it is we're trying to manifest. And our joy quest is 8. We're trying to get to a decision, which is also a commitment. And that brings now the thought for the day. I think the thought for the day, there it is. All right, and that is this. With the moon crossing over Jupiter, and I think this is aiding and abetting to what we want to decide and what we want to commit to. What's compelling about this moment is technically at the step 13, I don't know where your life is, but inside you're making a choice to go higher or stay at the same level that you've been. All right? And to go higher will mean that you have to love yourself in a way that is different than you ever had before. In fact, the reason you haven't been able to go higher is because you haven't had your own self-love support to go that much higher. It turns out when I study the lives of all the great people on earth, Mother Teresa I always bring up, Gandhi I always bring up, anyone who's been wonderful to the earth, I notice in their story that there's a point when they have to be more wonderful to themselves way before the world ever knows who they are. And this moment is one of those moments. Now, let's meditate back just a little bit. The last time Jupiter was in Leo was in 2002. Did you invest more in your heart in 2002, or did you invest more in someone else in 2002? Let me ask another date, 1990. Did you invest more in yourself in 1990, or did you invest more in people around you in 1990? Let me ask you one more, 1978. Did you invest more in yourself in 1978, or did you invest more in other people in 1978? In all these years, Jupiter has moved into Leo and inspired people to go after what they love. And a lot of people put other people before themselves. Now that is not the order in which things appeared on stage. You were born first, then you noticed them. Okay? So we have to put back into ourselves first. This decision today, whatever it is for you in your life, whether you're trying to decide about a job or to commit to this or commit to getting this way or whatever it is you're trying to commit to with the Sun in Virgo, whatever realities you find yourself handcuffed to, I argue in the background you're really making a decision as to whether you're going to up the self-love or keep the status quo. Myself, I actually did it one way each way. 1 year, 90, I invested in me. It was phenomenal. 2002, I invested in someone else. It was not phenomenal. So, my decision is made today. I'm going to invest more in me, which means that I'm going to have to love myself beyond what I understand, beyond what I've seen before. And that means I'm a novice little grasshopper approaching my self-love once again. Meditate on that, my friend, and I'll be right back after this. Just one quick note for soulmart.me. If you would like to sell your products or services, or if you have an issue with anything you purchase with us, do not hesitate to email us at help@soulmart.me. So before you go to Soulmart and look around, or go to the mothership and take a look at some of the new articles we have out, let's take a look at the modes of each of your brothers and sisters first, in the order of the 11 steps to Sirius joy, starting with the secret step, Step 0. Scorpio, sunny and feeling rather professional on this Friday. Now, the way you are committing is to a social commitment. You're having to make a social commitment, but the Yod says you're taking your new thinking, your new self-love, and giving yourself a self-promotion. That's what this has to be. This is a self-promotion. It's new thinking and self-love saying, I decide to promote myself. Leos, sunny and super cool with the moon in their sign today. Now overall, you're making a financial commitment right now with the Sun in Virgo. But in the background, you're taking a new way of living in your life, your self-trust in yourself, which you just recently earned, and you are giving yourself a higher royalty, a raise basically. So in the background, do you love yourself more to manifest more is the question. Step 2, the Cancer, sunny and productive. Their new partnerships and new beliefs are leading to manifesting new abundance. That's right. So if you go with the new beliefs and go with the new partnership laws, you can bring in the capital. But what you're committing to today is an attitude or maybe even a legal contract. Step 3, the Sagittarius is sunny and learning today. The Yod is saying take your new self-esteem and take your new self-nurturing and now commit to a life purpose. That's what your heart needs to do, is respond differently to a life purpose. Your heart needs to try a higher life purpose than you once thought, is what I guess I'm trying to say. So this is a new, probably professional commitment. You're going, I'm going to go for this in the world, but it's really in the background a new life purpose. That's the way I'm trying to say it. Forgive me for stumbling a little bit, folks. Step 4, the Aquarius is sunny and sentimental. It's your new faith and your new values, putting it into partnerships. Woo, I know. Putting it into partnerships. So take your heart to a higher partnership level than you did in 2002. Take your heart to a higher partnership level than you did in 1990 is what I'm saying. But you are committing really to transforming yourself to get there. The Step 5 is a Gemini, sunny and chit-chatty today. You got a new self-trust in yourself and you got a lot of future plans. So you take that trust, you take that future, and you allow your heart to think bigger. Think bigger, because when you're a Gemini, once you think bigger, everything does happen. What you're technically committing to, though, is some sort of social status. So the social status is what's on the plate. Librans, sunny and social today. So for you, it's like you have a new sense of family, and you also have, flip over, a new lifestyle. And that's what, that's right. So it's the new way of living in the moment, it's the new family, and that is what creates for you taking your heart higher in society than you once would have in 2002, or taking your heart higher in society than you would have in 1990. What you're committing to today is inner faith. All right, step 7, the Pisces, sunny and hyper aware with the moon in Leo. Basically, you've got a new social reputation, you got a sparkly new ego, and you want to take that reputation, that ego, and you want to raise the standards of what your lifestyle will be. But to get there, you're probably committing to somebody today. Step 8, the Capricorns. Oh no, I didn't feel it. Here it is. There it came in. So you're taking the new ego you've been working on and the new thinking, new strength of ego, new thinking, and that gives you higher trust. So trust yourself higher than you did in 2002. Trust yourself higher than you did in 1990. Today you're sunny and private though, and what you're actually committing to today is your belief structure, what you genuinely believe. Like, I think this is what I believe. Step 9, the Aries, sunny and super childlike with the moon in Leo. Basically, you've got a new future, which is your career. You've got new faith in yourself, and that is really to point towards new dreams. So this is your opportunity, Aries, to raise the bar on your heart's dreams. What you're committing to today is probably a work style or a health style. Tauruses, sunny, nesting, and resting today. Basically, you're taking your new beliefs and your new social reputation, and you are really allowing yourself to live higher. So, dare you have a better pasture than you imagined. But the commitment you're making today is to your own heart, really in the background. Then finally, the Virgos, sunny and spiritual, maybe partly sunny and spiritual, really. You have a new self-love for yourself. You've been in new relationships or not, you're leaving relationships, and that allows you to take your faith higher. That means Virgos can believe higher than they actually see details for. But what you're committing to today is a birthday streak, actually. So that is how it goes. Now, changing gears to Lightwalker Parade. I gotta find a better transition than that. I'm working on it. For one, we're releasing a new episode on 10 ways to avoid cancer. Yesterday was microwaves. Today will shock you. It has to do with deodorant. Also, I'm releasing a new Astro 307, I think this is. This is about planets in transit, and this one is about Pluto. Where is Pluto in your natal chart? Where is Pluto now? Wherever it is where you are dying and being reborn. And this week we had 2 great Tweet Talk shows. For one, with Master One Feather, The Circle of Wisdom is live. If you haven't seen it, we're talking about Organite and the separatist movement that we see happening in Scotland and in Texas. And also in Modern Mommies, we have the do's and do nots of child nutrition. We also give you some tips on how to do that better. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, please be so kind and do subscribe. We appreciate that. And come on down to Facebook, become our friend there. You'll find out updates on things that we don't put in this show. And of course, products and services at soulmart.me. The best thing you can do for gratitude is to tell your friends and family about SoulGuard.tv and this show. That's the best thing you can do, and I do appreciate it in advance. Now, moving to Soul Nirvana. To me, music is our soul, and we always need a good song. And you know, we're asking, what does your heart really need? That was the question, actually. What does your heart need? It needs something it hasn't had before. It needs more love now than it has had in the past. And so, not to be cheesy, but this song is absolutely brilliant. I say the Beatles, all you need is love. So, have a great Friday, my friends. Invest in your heart. I'll see you for the weekend edition. Listen to this song if you need a little amping up and inspiring to take it higher this time. And until then, remember, I love you and live, love, be.